Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Nick and Knarf. We're feeling good. We hope you're feeling good. We're in the month of November and we're moving toward Thanksgiving. Not too far away. It's hard to believe we're getting into the holidays already. Hope you're all doing well and we thank you for joining us today. Today we got a great show for you. We got a band and a singer basically who are synonymous with each other here. You got the band is Faces. And it was formed in 1969 from members of the original group Small Faces. Yeah, Nick's going to tell you a little bit about who was in Small Faces and then who was in Faces.
Yeah, you had Ronnie Lane, McLagan, Rod Stewart, Ronnie Wood, and Kenney Jones.
And after the members of Small Faces, after Steve Marriott left to form Humble Pie, and Jeff Beck Group had Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood playing with him, and they left and they hooked up to form the Faces band and had a very short run, 1969 to about 1975. They only made 4 albums. First one's called First Stop, then Long Player, then the one we're going to be playing 2 great songs from, Not As Good As a Wink to a Blind Horse, which is their biggest selling album. And then their final album was Ooh La La. And then they broke up when Ron Wood in 1975 was invited to join the Rolling Stones.
Stones.
Yeah. And Rod Stewart obviously was having a solo career simultaneously playing with Faces. He had signed 2 contracts. He had one with Faces and one to do the solo album. And this year that Not As Good As a Wink came out, 1971, he had 3 albums out. It was Not As Good As a Wink to a Blind Horse, Long Player with Faces, and then he had Every Picture Tells a Story, which was his monster breakout solo album. I was fortunate enough to see Rod Stewart once at the Anaheim Convention Center.
I was there.
Yeah, 1974 or 75, somewhere around there, with Rory Gallagher.
And Rory Gallagher, in my opinion, stole the show.
I think he did too.
You know, we had one funny incident though that I always remind Frank of. We were sitting there it was either during the concert or maybe just before the concert. We saw these guys who must have been ushers or, whatever they're called, the guys at the door. What are they called? Bouncers. Yeah. So they're carrying this guy. 4 of them are carrying this guy out, and the guy, light must have been on Quaaludes or something. And one guy screamed out, "He's just tired. He's just tired." And we were just laughing so hard because that's the memory that I remember most about the Rod Stewart concert.
I know. It was a great show. I mean, Rod Stewart was really, really good. It's just that Rory Gallagher was just superior. I mean,
tremendous.
It's all there is
He was
to
tremendous.
He was awesome. But Rod Stewart, what a run of stuff he had. What a career, going strong into the early 2000s, just hit after hit.
Ian McLagan actually did a lot of work with the Stones as well.
Right.
So I guess.
And he also played with The Who. He was asked to join The Who.
Keyboardist.
And he did a little bit of work with The Who, too. So some very famous, big-name people were in Faces, and they did break up in 1975 after a 5-6-year run and 4 albums. But a great intense short career with a great band, and this album was their greatest selling too. Not As Good As a Wink was their 3rd album. It rose to number 6 in the U.S. and number 2 in the U.K. So it was a huge hit for them.
And probably like you guys too. When Rod Stewart first started singing, a lot of us just like, wow, how does his voice get like that? And everybody said, he drank Southern Comfort. He drank. We all thought of these things. I think that's just his natural voice.
Yeah, because when he talks, he doesn't talk that way. But when he sings, he goes that way. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But, okay, anyway, before we start, we're going to do what we always do. Ask you, please, to subscribe, like, share. If you haven't, become part of the tribe. Don't cost anything. We love your support. And for all of you who have, thanks so much. From the bottom of our hearts, we love you all. We appreciate you being here. So, anyway, we are going to take 2 great songs from this album. The first one, we were going to figure out which order we wanted to play this in. But, we kind of settled on we're going to do it this way. The first one is the final track on the album, which wasn't a big hit in the U.S., but it was in the U.K. It was like the 3rd single from the album. This album was huge for them. Anyway, the song is That's All You Need. It's a great song by Faces, and I know you're going to enjoy it. So let's get into it, all right? From Not As Good As a Wink to a Blind Horse, this is Faces with That's All You Need.
do it like this.
Sit right down if you can spare me a minute. I got a tale that's bound to break your heart. Concerns my brother who stood and played violin. Woo! Got it in his head that an IQ was all you need. He went his way, I couldn't discover mine. I didn't worry if I ever saw him again. He's made a profit while I don't even own the pocket. Woo! And the last I heard, he was sitting at the top of the tree. Wait a minute. Late last night, reading my underground press, came a knock on the door, thought it was a Third World War. Lord above, I did not recognize him. I said, have a cup of coke, kid, maybe that's all you need. He said, the smell of the city, kid, it's trying to kill me. My eyes are getting muddy, Christ, I'm aging fast. With my kind of music, I knew it wasn't gonna be simple. But have a quick listen, kid, maybe that's all you need.
Nice. Don't stop, you make me feel much better. Tell me, my brother, do you think that's all I need? Yeah,
Now they got the keyboard.
don't make you happy. Well. That's all you need. Get it in. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's all you need.
I'm not sure if it's a piano. Yes, it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. Sounds like it, doesn't it?
That's all you need. 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 That's all you need.
What do you say, Nicky boy?
So I got a few things to say. One is they kind of are kind of a counter to a British version of the Allman Brothers in a little bit. You know,
They have a very raw sound,
Yeah,
don't they?
have that kind of a style, kind of like that. I would have liked him to bring the keyboard in sooner. The more and more I was listening to it, and I'm going, where is that keyboard? And then, of course, at the end it came in. The drummer was kicking butt for a while there, and then he got kind of soft, but... And it also sounded to me like a major jam session. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, let's get together. Oh, let's make a song out of this.
Does Ronnie Wood just excel on that slide guitar work? My goodness, it's so tasty. It's at the core of the whole song.
Yeah.
He creates that raggedy, passionate, edgy sound to this whole song, which really... It's just so raw and driving.
He's got that trademark style. You can just you can know it. You can zero it in and say, yeah, that's Ronnie Wood. So
he was just at the beginning of his career. Think about it. He's made these 4 or 5 albums, and think how much longer he played. Another 25, 30 years with the Rolling Stones. More than that. Almost 40 years with the Stones. Just an incredible career and a great, great guitarist. And what did you guys think of That's All You Need? Leave us some comments. I mean, it's a great friggin' song. I love it. I think this and the other song we're going to do now, and Stay With Me, are the 2 most awesome songs of the whole, probably the whole Faces catalog.
Rod Stewart, you got to give him credit. The man can sing. I mean, he's got a unique voice. Those notes are pretty darn high, but you rarely hear him sing a bad note. I remember when we saw him in concert. I mean, he didn't hit any bad notes at all.
No, he was right in his prime right here. 1971, the year that just exploded. Huge. 3 albums. I mean, think about it. He was really on the rise, big time, huge, and his career was just starting. His solo career was just starting here. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Now let's get into the next song. It's "Stay With Me," which was the big hit from the album. Stay With Me rose to number 17 in the U.S., number 6 in the United Kingdom, and number 4 in Canada. This song was a monster song, certified gold. Same thing with the album, certified gold. Just a great, great tune, and the most well-known song from the album. So, are you ready to get into it? Here we go. This is Rod Stewart, Ron Wood, and all the gang of Faces with Stay With Me. Here we go.
I love this intro. So good.
That bass.
Yeah, it's pounding.
In Get out, get up, get out. Stay with me.
So good.
Stay with me. 'Cause tonight you're gonna stay with me. Hey, what's your name again? Oh, no. Get out. Get yourself home.
I tell you, that is one of the greatest songs of all time. That intro, those first 20 seconds or whatever, are some of the most iconic sounds I think you'll hear in rock and roll. And I'm going to say it again. They remind me of the British version of the Allman Brothers. I mean, the Allman Brothers are the only ones that come close to playing that kind of a funky, honky-tonk blues rock. Good stuff.
Oh, it's so pure and raw, and he's right. So definitive. I mean, that's the whole thing. That sound is definitive. I mean, you hear it on the early Rod Stewart albums, on all these Faces album. It's a sound unmistakable with Ron Wood's really unique style of guitar work, his slide work, and his tasty licks that he does. But how about that? You heard us talking about that bass line. Man, that bass line was awesome.
There is nothing about that song that got boring. There is nothing that sounded repetitive. They added little things all the way through that song. Changes in tempo, changes in dynamic. It was just the drummer, broke it up. Sometimes he'd speed up, sometimes he'd slow down, sometimes he'd give us a little bit of a nice riff with the toms and the snare. It was just so good.
And it's like you said earlier, it feels like a really organized jam session, you know? It's just so right. And I got to throw kudos out. The producer of this album is the famous producer Glyn Johns, who did a lot of different work, and he kept them focused on this album better than any of their albums. I mean, you're talking about this album from top to bottom is so consistent in style, in execution, in quality of the performance.
I think this song though was produced much better than the song we.
I agree. I think this is
so well produced.
Stay With Me is a notch above. That's All You Need. Although I love the rawness of That's All You Need with that guitar work, and it's got that catchy, powerful when all the drums come in.
And I think they meant it that way. I think they wanted it to be raw. It did sound like a jam session. It sounded like, hey, I got these great notes and I'm trying to figure out a song, and the other guy said, hey, well, let me play this, and then they said, let's put it together and make a song. And it was, but this one here, man, it comes as close to perfection as you can get.
It was written both by Rod Stewart and Ron Wood together, and the lyrics aren't the lyrics hilarious?
Hilarious.
I mean, it has that same kind of quality as the lyrics of Maggie May, kind of kind of a little bit of that kind of snotty kind of attitude toward being kind of a player, like
red lips, hair, and fingernails. I hear you're a mean old Jezebel. And if you guys read your Bible, Jezebel is a bee woman in the Bible. I'll tell you that.
But what a great song. We hope that. I mean, God, I'm revved up from kicking ass with that song. That's just a great friggin' song.
From start to finish, really. And top 25 song of all time in rock and roll history. I think it's just that good. The singing is great. The musicality is great. The changes in tempo, the dynamic, the rawness, everything about that song hits home.
That's right. And we hope you guys enjoyed our selections from Rod Stewart and Faces with these two great songs from their great iconic album, Not As Good As a Wink to a Blind Horse.
Or maybe not.
And we're just glad you could stay with me and Nick, and we're having a great day digging some awesome rock and roll. Again, if you like what you heard, subscribe, like, share. Leave us your comments.
Doesn't cost you anything.
We love to hear your comments. Please leave us comments. We'll get back to you on everything. We love dialoguing with you. Share us your Rod Stewart memories, your favorite songs and faces and everything. And we'll really look forward to seeing you all next time on our next episode of
And
Nick
don't
Knarf.
forget, he's just tired.
That's right. That's right. And remember, a nod is as good as a wink to a blind horse. And even a dog can shake hands. Those are my two quotes. Okay.
That's right.
Anyway, love you guys. Peace out. Ciao, babies.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.